So it appears I forgot to rinse out the beer engine line after the last keg kicked. So we'll be going over the cleaning procedures for a slightly neglected beer engine. Stick the end down into a bucket of PBW. Then pump. Oh yeah. That's funky. Take the sparkler off if I can. We'll take that inside, clean it in the sink. Definitely do not neglect the beer engine. Sometimes life gets in the way and it happens, so we'll be able to bring her back to life. It's already a lot clearer. Gross. I'm going to let that PBW sit in the pump cylinder thing for a little bit. Get some cleaning action on the line. And then we'll be back with the next step. Okay, my next step is I'm going to take this little cleaning brush and ramrod it into this line here as far as I can reach, just to help the cleaning action. Oh yeah, that helped clean her out a lot. We'll let that PBW sit in there again for a little bit. So a little bit about the old beer engine. Hand pump from the UK. I ordered it on eBay years ago. Yeah, works pretty awesome. If you like your English beers fully English, get yourself a beer engine. Pretty awesome. You knew that was coming. So I let the PBW sit in the lines and in the pump for about 15-20 minutes. So we'll just pump some more through. Pump into a little cup so I can some PBW and the little whatever this thing's called, spout. And might as well pump through the rest of the PBW I got. Another cool thing about the beer engine or hand pump is you can pump almost all of it out of the cylinder in there. So it doesn't take as much to rinse it. I'm going to get some hot water, pump some hot water through, and then we should be ready to pump some beer. Okay, so you got the hot water, pump through a little bit. Should get all that PBW rinsed out of there. I think we're ready for beer, ladies and gentlemen. Just like that. Stay tuned for a little hand pull beer action. One of the best beers ever pumped through the beer engine. Murgy Straight. Four Priest Brewery. Andy over there. Check out his YouTube channel. Great channel. Great beer. Maybe one of the best beers I ever made. And it's not my recipe. Go figure. All right, here we go. Beer engine. Clean. Rinsed. Just kegged the vanilla porter straight onto the beer engine. Let's give her a pull. Let's give it a taste. See what it's like. Cheers. Delish. Vanilla. Maybe a little bit of chocolate, but mostly just vanilla on top of vanilla on top of vanilla. I have two different options that I use for the beer engine as far as CO2 slash CO2 blanket. I have the cask breather and also have a like auxiliary reducer regulator thingy for more beer. And I have that taking it down to about 2 to 5 pounds. Whereas the cask breather is just putting like 1 atmosphere or kind of replacing what is pumped out of the keg. I believe it's 1 or 2 atmospheres, if that's a measurement. But yeah, so the cask breather basically is just gonna bring CO2 in to replace the liquid that was pumped out, and the reduced CO2 regulator is gonna have 2 to 5 pounds on it at all times, which is also going to replace the liquid. But I find that it does give it, if it needs a little bit more carbonation, which I'm still trying to decide. It's really smooth, really creamy right now. But I did put it on the reduced CO2. We'll call it 5 pounds. You don't want to have too much pressure because it'll just spit out of the beer engine. You know, they'll just keep pushing it out. But I found that 5 pounds, when sitting on the 2 to 5 pounds, it gives it just a little bit more carbonation if it needs it. then just the cask breather will give it no more carbonation. It's just how it sits. So I'll leave it on there for now. I'll have a couple more of these and decide if I want to switch it over to the cask breather or wait a couple days, and then once it gets right where I want it, I'll switch it over to the cask breather and kind of lock it in. Um, or I'll just forget and it'll be on whatever it's on. And everybody in the house will drink the delicious vanilla porter on the beer engine. Highly recommend getting one of these. If you have any questions, reach out and I'll try to answer them. Yeah, but it's the beer engine. Vanilla porter. Delish. I'll get some more pours on there. A lot of times when you pour, you'll get almost like a nitro cascading action.
It looks like a nitro.
But I don't know if you can see. It's just the residual carbonation from fermentation. I literally just kegged this. It's so drinkable. Creamy, smooth, chocolate, vanilla mostly. I don't really think it would benefit from much more carbonation. Um, so, yeah, there's the beer engine, as promised. Better late than never. Hole number 2 of the vanilla porter on the beer engine. She's a beaut. Look at that. Oh, beautiful. Perfect. Oh, so good. Cheers. Oh, another little thing too. Keep a bottle of Star San. Just give her a little squirt after you pour. Keeps it from getting funky. And then you're good for the next pour. All right, so to wrap up this beer engine, beer pump video, had a few more points, I guess. Do you need a beer engine? No. Do I need a beer engine? Yes. So there's that. I'm going to put some diagrams of beer engines so you can kind of see the inner workings, or you can Google it, or you can reach out if you have any questions. um, oh, one thing too is my beer engine is out here in the brewery, which is currently unfinished, and I'm in Michigan, so it gets below freezing here. So I did some stuff. I added a root warmer, like heat belt, to um, the pump cylinder. I'll leave links to all the stuff I used. I hooked that up to an Inkbird Wi-Fi, digital controller. So I have the heat set. Well, I have it set at 55 degrees Fahrenheit because that's where I like my beers coming from the beer engine. But, that'll keep the cylinder from freezing and possibly exploding. So, it's a must if you have it out in freezing conditions. Um, I haven't seen anyone do it, but I've had it working for 3 years now, so it works. Um, the root warmer is a very gentle heat, so it doesn't really affect anything. Plus, the pump cylinder is kind of jacketed, if you can imagine. So I also have it hooked to my Blichmann glycol chiller. So in the summertime, it gets way too hot out here. It'll keep that beer in the pump cylinder at just the right temperature. Um, Normally, if you're not, going to be pumping it every day, if you know you're going to be a couple days, I usually pump it dry or as dry as it'll get, and then do that, procedure with just some quick PBW, and then rinse it with water in the summertime, and then that way, it doesn't have beer just getting old in the pump cylinder. So that works out pretty good. But usually, if I have something on the beer engine, it's usually getting pumped every day. Also, there is a check valve in between the um, keg or cask and the pump. I believe it's designed for in situations where you have the cask above where the pump is, the beer engine, so that, once you get, if it is above and you don't have something in there, once it starts flowing, it'll keep flowing. And that check valve stops that. Now, I found that, like I was explaining, obviously, I don't need anything like that with the cask breather, and my keg is below the beer engine. But when I have it on that reduced regulator at 2 to 5 pounds, that will push, but that check valve seems to stop that. So I believe it's set somewhere between 2 and 5 pounds psi. Um, and the check valve does work to keep it from continuously flowing out. Here's a picture of the check valve right here. It's real common. You'll see it in most pictures of the beer engines. Um, but yeah, beer engine, awesome. You knew I was gonna say it, but it is, seriously. And also, don't forget to check out Andy at Four Priest Brewery. Um, it's a great channel, and I mean, it's just nice hearing him talk in his proper English. But yeah, hopefully he's gonna be getting his tasting room set up, so there will be beer engines galore. Over there in the UK, they're using beer engines to prop the door open. You know what I mean? Over here, not so much. Hard to come by. Expensive to get over here, but when it's a must-have, it's a must-have. So that's the deal with that. I'm gonna wrap it up here because I'm actually gearing up for a homebrew day tomorrow with the boys from the club virtually. So that'll be another video. Stay tuned for that. But yeah, like and subscribe. If you have any questions about the beer engine, or you got any tips and tricks you want to give me, I'm not an expert. I'm just telling you what I figured out myself and what works. So, any questions, hit me up. Any suggestions, hit me up. See you guys next time. Cheers.